What's up, Nail Geeks, and welcome to a new brand launch video. Shockingly enough, I'm super stoked to have this up and ready to go before the brand actually launches again. Cough, cough. Not going to mention my shipping shenanigans from January. I'm very pleased to announce that Jewel of the Nail is a new maker on the indie scene, and I've got an 8-piece set inspired by a lot of spring looking finishes. The official maker's notes for this collection is the losing loved ones and just coming back and doing something she really loves. So that is very inspirational. The collection, her inaugural collection, I should say, is called the Renewed Collection. And the name for the brand, I'm reading her PR notes right here. The name for the brand comes from her mom, who passed away in late 2020, and her name was Jewel. So that's kind of where the name comes from. Really beautiful inspiration there. This is a very springy sort of collection that we're seeing, and I'm always here for brighter colors. I've been not so subtly complaining about the darker colors from the winter collections, and I'm ready for spring and summer. So without further ado, let's check them out, and then we'll go over release information and all that good stuff at the end of the video. And first up is Sissy Bobby Blue. This is described as a robin's egg blue base with a fine silvery glitter that gives it a specific shimmery look. So we have a somewhat crelly type formula here. To me, it leans a bit more on the jelly side. For opacity, I'm going to suggest 3 coats on this. I don't see a need to be soft on your brush strokes or be mindful of that. The formula is pretty forgiving. Now, it is on the lighter side in terms of formula. I will not consider this one or classify it as a sheer per se, but if you have a pretty prominent free edge, you're going to see a touch of your visible nail line if you stop at 2 coats. So you'll want to take it up to 3 coats and finish off with a good glossy top coat. Now, with every single order, you are also going to be receiving this cute little bag of springy flowers. They're nice pastel colors. Now, when you are using loose, large or chunkier glitters, I should say, you want to make your base whatever it's going to be. And then I like to use a glossy top coat. I typically don't gravitate towards my quick dry glossy top coats because it dries down too quickly for me to work with. So use something a little goopier that's going to take a little longer to dry, and then just use an orange stick or a cuticle pusher, whatever you have on hand. A toothpick even would work, and you can just stick them to your nails. Now, if you have a really strong C curve like yours truly, just avoid putting it on the topmost portion of your nail. You want it to be on the sides, otherwise it's not going to sit flat. Depending on how you're using these, you might want to finish with a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat. An Easter Sunday dress is described as a medium lavender base with lavender glitter. So this one has a pretty similar formula to Sissy Bobby Blue in that it's got more of a jelly lean to it. Personally, in my opinion, I would describe the glitters in this one in the official description. To me, they come off as tiny metallic flakes, if you will. They at least give you that sort of soft, reflective sort of look in your overall finish. I do think this one is also on the lighter side in terms of formula, so you might see a visible nail line if you stop at 2 coats. I'm going to suggest 3 normal coats and a glossy top coat. Just be mindful, as this one does have a plumping feel to how it applies. And Baby's Rosy Cheeks is described as a rose red base with the same fine silvery glitter for shimmer that Easter Sunday dress had. We are seeing this tiny sort of almost, I dare say, it looks almost like microflakes to me. So you'll get that almost reflective sort of shimmery look. This one built up just a touch heavier than, say, Bobby Blue or Sunday dress. So I think you might be able to stop maybe at 2 heavy coats, but it did have a plumping feel to the formula. So again, I'm going to suggest 3 light to normal coats with a glossy top coat of some sort to finish this one off. This is a really flattering base color. I think it's going to look fantastic across any skin tone. And next is Lemon Pound Cake. This is described as a light yellow base with the same fine silver glitter. So the same shimmery sort of micro flake. I'm not quite sure. I personally I'm not really seeing glitter here. I am seeing a micro flake of some sort. I could be wrong, but I just feel like that's what it's coming off to my eyes. We have a more curly formula. This one almost applies like a milky sort of finish. So I think 3 coats is perfect. It is just a touch heavier. We got a little bit more of a bounce to the formula. So we'll want to be cautious with how you do your brush strokes. So 3 lighter coats and a glossy top coat is perfect. This is what I would consider a true lemony sunshine yellow. Very flattering, especially for medium to deep skin tones. And Blue Orchids is described as a white curly base with blue, light teal, yellow, and white circle and hexagon glitters. Full disclosure for how your girl applied the heavy, dense curlies in this collection. I kept all of my bottles upside down for about 10 minutes while I prepped my nails and my falsies. And I also have a lab grade vortexer that I tried to get some of these glitters to come out on to the brush here. I found that you're gonna need to go in with an orange stick, or in my case, a water marbling tool or anything like that. And you're gonna really need to unstick the glitters from the sides of the bottle. I did try to use the magnetic trick where you get the mixing balls to stick to a magnet and kind of scrape them up that way. But I honestly, like, that, to me, it did not work that way for me. I personally found that literally putting a stick inside the bottle was the best way to get the glitters out. I did report this to the maker, and she said that every order that includes the Crellies, you will get an orange stick per heavy glitter bottle, so that you too can stick it out of the bottle like that too. So I'm gonna suggest 2, possibly 3 really light coats on the Crellies like this with the heavier glitters in the collection, because they are more milky in appearance, and then you'll need to unstick those glitters out of the bottle onto your nail. And then you'll finish with a thin layer of glitter smoother and glossy top coat, as it does have just a touch of texture from the glitters. Now, that disclaimer also goes for Lavender Fields Forever. So there's 3 of the chunkier glitters in this collection, Blue Orchid, Lavender Fields, and then there's one more I'll show you all after this one. Same thing, I'm gonna suggest 2, maybe 3 light coats. In my opinion, these are just more milkier, they're soft, really pretty, kind of palette cleansing, if you will. But those larger glitters, you will need a stick, and it will come with your order if you order these. So full disclosure for all of you watching my swatches for Lavender Fields, I did go back and use my water marbling tool to unstick the glitters out of the bottle, and then I just did some extra placement for my actual photos. I figured since you all saw it on Blue Orchids, that's exactly what I did for Lavender Fields. And the next one is You Are Loved. This is described as a white curly base with red, pink, and white round and hexagon glitters. So again, we have a milkier type finish. And interestingly enough, the formula, or the base, I should say, to You Are Loved has a looser feel to the formula, in that I feel like the glitters stuck a little bit less in the bottle. And as you can see in how I'm applying on that second coat, it's pretty smooth, but I still had to do fishing and careful placement for the larger glitters. I would strongly suggest stopping at 2 coats on this one and then doing your careful placement, as 3 coats with the squishiness to this formula is going to give you a bit of over buildup. You'll want to finish with a thin layer of glitter smoother and a glossy top coat to smooth everything out and give you that nice jello-like appearance. And then lastly, we've got Egg Hunt. This is a light yellow base with blue, light teal, and yellow glitters. So very similar to Blue Orchid and Lavender Fields. There's 3 of them in the full set that has it. The larger, chunkier glitters with a more Crelly-like formula to the actual base. So this was another one that I needed to use a stick and unstick the glitters from the side of the bottle on here. I was able to, on my middle nail here for the video's sake, pick up a couple of the larger glitters off of the stick from the brush itself, and that's where I did the careful placement for the glitters here. I feel like this one was the less tricky than, say, Lavender Fields and Blue Orchid. This is another way that you can kind of dry brush the larger glitters on. Again, Egg Hunt, I feel like I was able to get just a couple of the larger glitters off of this stick from the brush. I did finish with a very thin layer of glitter smoother and a glossy top coat. And we're going to wrap up this video with the Will It Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. Okay, so we've got these almost microflake shimmery looking finishes. We got 4 of those, and then we got 4 Crellies. I honestly think that the first four, the little microflakes here, they pass the test, but they are pretty pigmented in their bases. So I think you'll just want to play up against that. I would personally stick with more matchy match colors, as that milky finish over black isn't really my thing. I would wear them by themselves or match them up. Now the Crellies themselves, you do have that milky sort of finish, and personally that's not my jam. I like the palette cleansing clean slate look of the milkier type of bases. So personally, I would not layer these. If you do, I do think you can get more of a, in your face sort of finish if you put it over a matchy match cream base. Okay, so the official launch is going to be April 1st. No, that's not an April Fool's joke. You can grab them individually for $12 per bottle or $80 for the full collection. There's also going to be an option for mini bottles. At this moment, I don't know how big those are. I've seen mini bottles either be 5 milliliters or 7 milliliters. You can grab the full collection in mini bottles for $40. Now, I wanted to note the packaging on these. They did come in some super cute Easter grass and some Easter eggs with a little bit of chocolate inside. The first 5 people that purchase the full collection, they're going to receive a bunny or a chick Easter basket as shown on her website. I will link you guys below to Jewel of the Nails Instagram page, where a lot of the action's happening for her communications, all that good stuff. As far as I know right now, there is not a Facebook page happening, and I will link you guys below to Jewel of the Nails website if you want to check that out too. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.